7 anabolic food swaps that you need to make if you want to build more muscle. Now, before I tell you these foods, I want to tell you there are no such things as magical foods. Like if you just eat these foods, you're not going to magically put on more muscle. But when it comes to maximizing how much muscle you can put on, these foods do hold a little bit more superior because it's more than just macros when it comes to building muscle. So these foods are going to have more minerals in them, because remember, we're looking at the overall picture here, not only macros, but we're looking at the micros too, which are your vitamins and minerals. These foods are also a little bit more calories, which will help you hit your calorie goal when it comes to building muscle. And these foods have more muscle building ingredients, all right, basically, okay? And they're going to give you a better bang for your buck. So let's talk about the first one. Most guys and most foods that are associated with bodybuilding is egg whites. Everybody eats egg whites. Egg whites are known to be a bodybuilder type food. But when it comes to building muscle, they are not up to par. So the anabolic swap that we're going to make here is we're going to swap out egg whites for whole eggs. The benefits of whole eggs go far, and it would be a long video if I just talked about just eggs, right? So eggs contain a lot of B vitamins, which are really good for muscle building. Again, it has more calories from the yolk. They're very bioavailable, which means that your body's going to use almost all of those eggs for muscle building purposes. So you just got to make that swap. Don't have egg whites anymore, switch over to whole eggs. Whole eggs are a great source of muscle building protein that you need to be eating if you're not already. And if you have issues with cholesterol, you need to look at your overall diet. Your cholesterol is not going to be raised just from having eggs. You need to look at your overall fat intake and the amount of good fat to bad fat in that ratio there. But again, if you do have problems with eggs, then you can have egg whites, no problem, but you're going to miss out on some of those benefits. All right. Anabolic food swap number 2, chicken. Good old chicken, like Ronnie Coleman used to say. Chicken is, again, another bodybuilding staple. But chicken is a good food. I like to look at chicken like a filler food. And what does that mean? Chicken is that filler food that helps you to hit your protein intake. So if you look at your food log and you notice like, hey, I only have 100 grams of protein for the day, I'm going to have 8 ounces of chicken breast. Boom. Now you're just jumped up your protein intake to around 150 grams. So chicken is like that filler food for protein. That's the way I kind of look at chicken. But when it comes to putting on as much muscle as possible, chicken falls short again. And it falls short to beef. I love beef. You can't go wrong with a good piece of beef. But when it comes to building muscle, I like to use ground meats because it's just easier to measure. It's much more consistent with the fat intake. Again, like if you get a ribeye steak versus like a flank steak, there's going to be a huge discrepancy in those calories there. So I like to use like the ground meat. So anywhere between 90 and higher is what I usually swap for. But the reason why we're going to swap chicken for that is because, again, we're going to get the protein in, but we're also going to get muscle building nutrients in there. Good B vitamins, iron, which is, again, really good, choline, all of these other essential amino acids and vitamins that come from having whole and more fattier cuts of meat versus just chicken, which, again, like I said, is just that filler food. So that's anabolic swap number 2. Anabolic swap number 3, another food that's classified with bodybuilding, brown rice. You got to eat brown rice. Brown rice is healthy, blah, blah, blah. But I want you to make this anabolic swap from brown rice to white rice. Why am I making a swap from brown rice to white rice? They're the same calories. Well, when you're in a muscle building surplus, you need to get more calories in. And when you have too much fiber, it actually makes it much harder to get those calories in. White rice is a great swap here because it's easy to digest. It sits very easy in your stomach, and you're not going to be as full by having just the rice. Whereas if you have the same amount of rice in brown rice, it's going to come with a little bit more fiber, and it's going to sit in your stomach a little bit longer, and it's going to be harder for you to digest. When you're in a muscle building stage, we need to get those food digested and into the muscle cells as opposed to just sitting in your stomach, taking up space, which is okay when you're in a calorie deficit because you're trying to stay fuller longer. Difference. All right. The next one, oatmeal, bodybuilding staple. Oatmeal, gotta have oatmeal. Oatmeal, so important, blah, blah, blah. Although now there's like this huge debate online where people are saying that oatmeal like kills you, apparently. There's like ingredients in the oatmeal, whatever. Anyway, neither here nor there. I don't listen to any of that crap. But anyway, oatmeal. What are we swapping oatmeal for? Oatmeal for the same reason as brown rice. Oatmeal has a lot of fiber in it. Oatmeal is very good. It does have vitamins and minerals in it. But we're going to make a swap here for a more anabolic food, and that anabolic food is cereals. Cereals are a great food to have when you're in a calorie surplus because it's easy carbohydrates, and those foods, cereals, are also fortified with vitamins and minerals. When I went to school for nutrition, my teacher used to talk about how cereal is a great, it's basically a multivitamin with carbs. So because it's all fortified. So by making the swap from oatmeal to cereal, you can get way more calories in easily, easy to digest, makes it a perfect pre-post workout meal that you can have. Easy way to get carbs in to shuttle those nutrients right into the muscle. All right. Anabolic food swipe number, I believe we're up to 5 here or 4. I don't know, whatever. We're going to go with berries. Okay. You got to have everybody talks about blueberries, strawberries, raspberries, those berries. We all know how important those are from an overall health standpoint. And I'm not saying don't have them. I'm not saying that, but we're going to make a swap here. What's the swap? Those berries are great when you're dieting because you get a lot of volume for them. They're very high in like vitamins and minerals and all those things. But again, when we're in a calorie surplus, we're really looking for beyond that. We're looking for calories. We're looking for other benefits that we're going to get. And in this case, we're going to make that swap to bananas and apples. Both are really good. They both have vitamins and minerals. But again, you're just going to get more calories from them. In a banana and an apple, a large apple, is around 25 to 30 grams of carbohydrates versus like a handful of berries is going to be, I think, like 15 carbs or 20 carbs or something like that. So you're going to get more carbs from from the bananas and the apple versus that. Plus, it's a little easier to cut up a banana and throw it in like your cereal for extra carbohydrates as opposed to like sprinkling berries in there. So I'm not saying don't have the berries. Berries are good for you. You should have that. But when you're trying to put on as much muscle as possible, I would opt for, bananas and apples. And I love berries. Don't get me wrong. I still will eat berries in a muscle building, surplus. But, like I said, when you're trying to pound down those calories, it makes it hard when they're such a voluminous food like that. All right, next food swap. We're going peanut butter. Again, another bodybuilding health food that people talk about. Gotta have peanut butter, peanut butter, peanut butter, peanut butter. Peanut butter is good. I like peanut butter. I'm actually an almond butter fan over peanut butter. So if you're an almond butter fan, comment below. Let me know you're in the club. But anyway, peanut butter. Peanut butter is, again, a very dense source of calories, a good amount of fat, healthy fat. But the anabolic swap that we're going to make here, and there's a reason why I'm making you make this anabolic swap, is because this fat source that we're going to switch it to is much easier to consume. You're not even going to feel it. And it's also a really good source of fat as well. We're going to make the anabolic swap from peanut butter or almond butter to olive oil. Olive oil is, again, a very, very healthy fat, will help to balance out cholesterol like we talked about earlier. So olive oil is very good to have. But the reason why we're swapping it is because when you have olive oil, so 1 tablespoon of olive oil is around 120 calories, give or take. Same thing for peanut butter, but the peanut butter is going to it's going to be harder to eat. It does taste good, but the reason why I like going with the olive oil here is because you won't even taste it on your food. You could put it on your food and you won't even feel it. Like sometimes, even when I was in a very, very high calorie surplus, I would put it in my shake and you don't even taste it. Easy way to get calories in that way. So like, for example, if you're having, beef and rice, like white rice, we're using the two foods that we talked about earlier, and you put 2 tablespoons of oil on that meal, you're not even going to taste those extra 20 to 30 grams of fat that you just had on in there. And easy way to get calories in. Plus, you're also getting the benefits of, the good fats from that as well. All right. And the last swap that we're going to make here that's going to help you to build more muscle. This is probably one of the most but most people, especially when you're in a calorie deficit, you're trying to get as much food volume as possible. So they'll take lettuce and they'll put lettuce on all their food. I think Chris Bumstead even does this when he's dieting for Mr. Olympia. He'll just sprinkle lettuce on everything. Now, that's good, but you're not going to get as much out of that. And again, we're looking to get as much bang for our buck out of everything that we eat. So we're going to make a swap here from lettuce to spinach. Spinach, like Popeye said, is really good muscle building food, high in vitamins, minerals, iron, obviously. Plus, spinach also is roughage. It's going to help you to clear out your system, has a good amount of fiber in it. But the reason why I like it in this case to swap it out is because lettuce really has no nutritional value at all. It just takes up room in your stomach. When we're trying to put on as much muscle as possible, we're not trying to take up as much room as possible in your stomach to keep you full. We actually want to get as much nutrients as we can in so we could shuttle it into the muscles and grow more. Okay? So we're going to make that swap there. So if you made it this far in the video, I actually have something for you. I have a free gift that's going to help you to blow past your muscle building plateau. And that is a free 6-week training program. I'm going to give it to you. No strings attached. All you got to do is click that link below and just download the program. Again, the reason why I do this is because I just want to help you get to that next level and avoid the mistakes that I made when I first started. This was Anthony, AB Fitness. I'll catch you on the next one.